Greetings, sauna comrades. Please welcome Alex Blyashuk to the Sauna Talk podcast. Though sauna in Belarus is quite popular, Alex, a native of Belarus, didn't grow up with sauna, or banya as it is called in his home country, but he discovered the Russian-style sauna experience through several road trips from his hometown in Buffalo, New York, up to Toronto, Canada. Alex and his buddies would pack up their car, often on Fridays in the afternoon, and head over the Peace Bridge through Fort Erie, Ontario, and up the QE Parkway to experience the heat, steam, and venik treatment action at a public banya in Toronto, Canada. Alex's experiences at the Russian Banya in Toronto were formative. In our chat, you'll hear more about the venik treatments, their relaxations between hot room sessions, and how he and his buddies would try to stay awake driving back from Toronto back to Buffalo after their intense banya sessions. Alex's mobile sauna. Alex constructed his first mobile sauna in Eastern Europe tradition. Here we have a modified barrel concept where, instead of round, the walls are vertical, giving the interior space a more conventional feel, while at the same time rolling steam and demassing the hot room, as many pros like to call it. During our chat, you will hear how deeply these banya experiences up in Toronto affected Alex. So much so, in fact, that Alex has pivoted his career to sauna full-time. Alex is especially impassioned toward the venik steam tradition. To the unfamiliar, venik treatment involves administering an elaborate whisking procedure on a guest as they lay flat on their back, and then the guest is rolled onto their front, or vice versa, all while laying flat on that sauna bench. My 88-year-old mother partook in the venik treatment this session as well. She was blown away by the experience. I have had venik treatments before, but never to this level. Alex is a pro from start to finish. The venik treatment involves steam from the sauna stove, hot and cold water, some essences like eucalyptus from the leaves themselves and never the oils, and the key, several different whisks, which are bound branches of supple tree limbs of different species. The venik treatment is different than the Finnish vata, primarily in that the Finns most often use the birch whisks on themselves, casually, while sitting on the bench. Sure, one may offer to whack a friend a few times, but nothing like what happens with Dr. Alex and his patient, lying flat on the hot room bench. It's all trust as Dr. Alex orchestrates the process. Steam, heat, ventilation, a maestro of sensations. Dr. Alex at the controls. This past summer, Alex traveled to Russia to compete in an international tournament for venik treatment instructors. He took first place in the amateur division, Master Kazan. The experience was otherworldly. Alex was an expert in the process. He completely tuned into the different species of tree limbs to create different veniks, or whisks, as well as bringing in the essences from nature in a well-thought-out choreographed process. In this episode, you'll get to know the features of the different tree species, their qualities and nuances for creating venik whisk branches. Three's the charm. I had many takeaways from my venik treatment and our Sauna Talk podcast. One of them is how draining the treatment is for the giver. It's easy to lay flat on the sauna bench and take it, but it's another thing to stand in the hot room and administer the action. A sauna master is whipping around the veniks in the heat, heart racing, blood pumping, and sweat pouring. Often, Alex tells us, it's good to have 3 people on the program. One flat on the bench, one standing, administering, and a third, outside on the on-deck circle, awaiting for a tag team from his partner to hand off the whisks to the next guy. For many of us, sitting on the sauna bench is enough. For others, in the Latvian perch tradition, laying down on the bench and submitting to Alex's choreographed venik treatment may be, as my mom said, just what the doctor ordered. Please welcome Alex Blyashuk to Sauna Talk. This show is brought to you by Urban Wing. Urban Wing is a Minnesota, USA-based artisan craft shop specializing in custom designed cedar products. In addition to their best-selling cedar patio heater and umbrella tables, I am a big fan of Urban Wing's elegantly designed, patent-pending knobless sauna vent covers. They are easy to install, give you infinite control over fresh air while sitting on your sauna bench, which drastically helps improve your sauna's ventilation and performance. As readers of Sauna Times are well aware, ventilation is one of the holy trinity elements for good sauna, the other two being heat and steam. Also, a great gift for the sauna lover could be a pair of Urban Wing's Sauna Times collaborated backrests. The cool thing about these traditional style backrests is that they can be configured a few different ways: upright for sitting and long ways for laying down on the bench. Additionally, the Sauna Pro can lock one backrest into the other, creating a relaxed recline, which has been known to increase your bench time and reduce low bench Larry tendencies by 15%. I've sat in hundreds of different saunas, and these backrests nail it. To learn more about these Urban Wing products and to order, please visit www.urbanwingco.com. 100% of the proceeds of your purchase go to a former corporate soldier who is building a craft business where he never has to fill out a TPS report again. www.urbanwingco.com. Now on to the show. So the Sauna Times Global Series continues, and the cool thing about this is we are in my hometown of Buffalo, New York, and I have the great pleasure of meeting and connecting and taking sauna with Alex. Alex from B Saunas USA. Welcome to Sauna Talk.
Hello, my name is Alex, and I'm with B Saunas USA, and nice to meet you guys, and I'm here to answer your questions, I guess.
Yeah. Now we all know that we all know a Buffalo accent, and you don't have a Buffalo accent. Where are you from, Alex? And how did you find Buffalo, New York?
So I'm from Belarus. I came from Belarus. A lot of people don't know Belarus. I'm Belarus border in Russia, Ukraine, and Poland. So it used to be USSR. So I came with my parents in 1998. So the way I came is my aunt, she won a green card, lottery, and she came here, lived here a couple of years, and she invited my mom, and there you go, I'm here.
Oh, how did she choose Buffalo or end up in Buffalo?
Because we had some people that my aunts knew in Buffalo. That's why, we came to Buffalo.
Mm-hmm. Is there a big Belarus community in Western New York?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, good amount of people.
Right. Is there a certain area that the people live from Belarus, or are they spread out all over?
Not only Belarus. It's like Ukraine, Russian, Belarus. Mm-hmm. We all speak Russian language. So.
Yeah. Is there a certain area within Buffalo where most of the Russian speakers have congregated or settled?
No, actually, anywhere in Buffalo. Yeah.
Right on, man. Mm-hmm. Right on. Cool. Sauna. Let's talk about sauna. This is Sauna Talk. Do you remember the first sauna in your life, like back to Belarus? How old were you?
Guess what? The first time I was in a sauna, it was in the United States of America.
Oh, get out of here! Yep. Now we were talking about Sauna Talk and how when we record on Zoom, there's a video attached. But now this Sauna Talk, being that we're literally going to be on the bench and on the bench, you're not able to see the red face that Alex has by admitting his first sauna is in America. How did that? I know sauna in Belarus is a big deal. How did that all transpire?
I mean, sauna in Belarus are depending where you live. So, some areas it's like United States. You know, some cities are popular with it. Some people just never, take the sauna. So I guess I was in the area and the people who never used the sauna. And the first time I was in the sauna in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I was in a public sauna, Russian public banya, and I was driving a truck. Basically, I'm in trucking business, and my truck broke down. And me and my driver, we knew we were gonna stay there a couple of days fixing the truck. And I found it on the map. I unhooked the trailer and drove a semi truck. Actually, the trailer was broken, so I drove a semi truck to a Russian Banya in Philadelphia.
Great. Oh, that's a great story.
And
What prompted you? You had downtime, you had free time, but what was the push? Was it just to try something different?
No,
to fill
because
the time,
lots of my friends, now start using the sauna. I've been talking, about it, and I'm like, I really want to try it. I really want to go, and that's where I went.
And it was good heat.
It was good heat. I ordered a professional guy, and I had a venik massage, cold plunge, and I did all that session, and I got hooked.
Right away.
Yeah, right away.
Yeah, man, that's a great story. If I had $1 or a ruble or 100 rubles for every time someone told a story to me like that, about that immediate hook, I could tell you my story about the immediate hook. I was between Finland and Sweden in the archipelago on the Baltic, and the first time I felt good heat, that resonating, deep, wood-fired heat on this island in the Baltic, it was just like your experience in Philadelphia. I was immediately hooked. So I'm smiling and I can relate, Alex. Beautiful. So then what happened? You got the truck on the road. That was your first authentic, good heat, banya, sauna experience. Then what in terms of sauna for you?
So then we start, I Googled it, and there was a public sauna in Toronto, which is about 1.5, 2 hours from Buffalo. And me and my friends, we are just every other Friday or so in the winter time, we would get together, get in the car, 2 o'clock during the day, fly there. The sauna opens at 4 o'clock, so you go there on the fresh heat, public sauna, and we just stay there. We bring sauna whisk in there, venik, and we just have a good time. You can order food. And
The friends that you would go there with from Buffalo to Toronto, from Belarus?
Mostly Belarus or Ukraine. Yeah,
right on. So you guys weren't speaking English on the sauna bench?
Both we speak Russian.
Yeah. So there were probably other Russian speakers in Toronto, and did you connect with the Russian community up there?
There is Russian people, but in a Russian Banya in Toronto, 70% Canadian people.
Okay.
Because in Canada, sauna a lot more popular than U.S. and Canadian people know a lot more about saunas than U.S. people.
Yep. I feel that. I've experienced that. I don't know the reasoning for that, and whatever it is what it is.
Yeah.
Do you have a reason?
No, you just cross the border because Toronto, I think, more immigrants. I think. I mean, the whole U.S. is immigrants, but over there it's just. Yeah. I don't know, they just brought that culture.
Right on, man. And maybe a contributor could be climate.
Climate, Buffalo and Toronto, but the same climate.
A
little bit colder, Toronto, but it's
Italians, I grew up Italian, and sauna, very, very foreign. The sauna we were talking about, the Buffalo public sauna, Eastern, would that be Eastern European based, right? Those guys?
Jewish guy. It was Schwitz.
Schwitz. Yep, that's what it was. It wasn't called sauna, was it?
Schwitz.
The place. It was on Kenmore Avenue or Delaware Avenue.
It was called Schwitz.
Yeah,
just Schwitz, and they have. I think in Cleveland there's few of them in the United States.
That's correct. Yeah.
Schwitz Banya.
Yeah. And not much different than a Russian Banya. Same deal, just different name.
A very good banya. It was an older building, but stove. It was very big, brick stove. A lot of big rocks.
A lot of good lampa masa.
Yeah, and there was a proper,
Right on, man.
proper
Yeah.
Russian Banya
Yeah.
over there. Yeah.
So you and your buddies going up to Toronto. Fridays, would you like to go?
Yeah, Fridays.
Yeah.
Fridays, because next day is Saturday. You
Yeah.
can come.
And would you drive home that night?
Yeah, we would drive home, and we were, used to fight. Who's driving?
I know. That's great. And then
there was a dilemma. It was a big dilemma.
And the guy in the passenger seat probably had to stay awake, right?
Well,
It was by rule.
Fall asleep.
Oh, I know. Well, that's one of the great things about having your own sauna in your own backyard, as you know, or at your own cabin, is you can you're 20 steps from your bed or your couch. And one of my things that I love about the winter saunas, do you like ice hockey?
Yeah, I love ice hockey.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, is there anything better than a nice long sauna session? You come inside, maybe some chicken soup or something hearty, and then you just park yourself in front of the TV with a recorded Sabres game and just relax. And 20 steps out, you're 20 steps from another world, as you say, your sauna.
Yeah, it is nice. It is nice. It's really nice.
So I paint this big picture and you summarize it perfectly. It is nice. Yeah. Okay, so you're going up to Toronto. You're involved with this Banya up there. Then what?
Then actually I forgot, about 5 or 6 years ago. We flew to Karpaty, if you know Ukraine, Carpathian Mountains. So me and my 5 or 6, it was like 7 of us, we bought the tickets, guys only, and we flew to Ukraine, to Karpaty, on a ski resort. And, we rented the sauna there, the whole house. Man, it was so good, and I'm like, I have to build myself. I have to build that from there. I'm like, I have to build the sauna for myself. And I already had a land in Warsaw, New York, which is 1 hour south of Buffalo. And, I started researching about how to build a sauna, proper ventilation, what kind of wood to use. And because I speak, 2 languages, English and Russian, and in Russia, Banya is really popular, and there is a lot of information on YouTube and a lot of Russian people building, and it's in their culture, so a lot of great information there, so that's most of my information I gain about building it, using it, how to, is actually, from Russian people.
Beautiful. And then what? You say, I want to build my own. Okay, then what?
So I built a barn, I dug the pond, like 1/3 of an acre pond. And and I like hunting, and I decided to build a cabin with the banya inside.
Right on.
And I actually the banya, I researched what kind of wood, and in Russia we use most popular is the basswood.
Yeah,
sauna.
I know basswood very well.
Yeah,
hey, I'm gonna ask Alex. I'm gonna have you hold this, but please keep talking. I'm gonna get us a couple things of water. I'm gonna get hydrated with you. So
do we have a pause or no?
No. You just keep talking. I mean, right here in this other room. So basswood, is that most common species in Russia? Would you say, or
yeah,
like
it's
spruce?
just basswood. It doesn't, it's spruce. Spruce. We have a lot of basswood, and it's a soft wood, and it's just it's a good wood for sauna versus. Cedar, it's even better, red cedar, but it's not growing in Russia, so they use basswood. And what I did the first time, actually, I have basswood trees growing on my land in Warsaw, here in the United States.
Does it remind you of home?
Yeah, it reminds me of home. And what I did, I cut basswood trees. I took the trees to sawmill. We cut it. I kiln dry. I made my own kiln. It's called Virginia Kiln Dry. I kiln dry the basswood, and then I made ton and groove myself.
Beautiful job.
right in my garage.
Did you use a table saw or a router or
Yeah,
what?
router
Yeah.
table to do TNG, Town and Groove.
Yeah.
So, and I have mix of basswood and a red cedar in my sauna, and I still have it. And I made it. It's it's like 9 by 11 sauna.
That's big hot room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was choosing the stove. I bought one stove, and then I started doing research, and I was gonna buy. I found a really good stove, Russian stove, Grill D is the brand name, and I called Russia, and I guess, and one dealer in Canada just bought the first shipment. It came to Canada, so I drove to Canada and bought that stove, and I still have and I still use.
Yeah.
And now I'm selling it.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
selling it.
The world evolves fast, doesn't
Yeah.
it? I want to visit more about your property, and specifically, we could talk a little bit about the hot room and the cool down area. But I really want to chat about the pond, and I'd like to do that, and then we're going to talk about the venik treatment. And then, do we want to check the stove?
Let's go check the stove.
Okay. All right, we're going to check the stove, and then we're going to talk about those two subjects and be right back with you. So, Alex, the pond. I'm going to make a prediction right now. I mean, you're ahead of this game. I know ponds in other countries, making your own pond it's nothing new, nothing unique. But as shoreline becomes more and more expensive, and I live in a land of 10,000 lakes in Minnesota, and it's expensive to get on a lake. But the concept of creating your own cold plunge, one that doesn't need, filtration and hydration and fertilization and all that, all the and I had John Richter from the Chest Freezer Cold Plunge on just very recently, and we talked about the equipment needed to maintain a cold plunge. But you have no equipment with your pond, I take it, right?
No, I had no equipment. I had my regular tractor, but it's nothing, to build a pond. So
yeah, and once it's built, you don't need anything to plug in to keep the water clean.
No.
Because it's big.
It's big, and it's a hill country, so I have constant overflow. Maybe in a dry summer, the water will drop a foot, but other than that, 9 months out of a year, I have constant overflow all the time. So which is good, the
That's
water
right.
is clean.
Exactly. And how deep is your pond?
The pond is 18 feet deep.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, 18 feet deep, and so it's a hill country. So I was gonna do a 1 acre pond, because I know a farmer in the area. He's got 1 acre pond, and I always wanted to have my own pond. Because we come there for baptism, from church at the farmers, and I always wanted to come, to the baptism, at my own pond. And we're trying to dig a 1 acre pond, but because of the hills, we did it like a 1/3 of an acre.
And it's still plenty good for good water.
It's still plenty of good. We have fish there, and it's.
Yeah. Do you need to do anything to maintain the shoreline in terms of aquatic plants, or was there any thing you planted for the shoreline or aquatic?
I didn't, because my pond, it goes steep right away. It goes deep, so there is some weeds growing, but I have camping, people from my church. Sometimes we'll have 100 people. And I just get all the kids in, and they just pull the weeds out all the way around.
and the fact that it's a steep shoreline, there's not a lot of shoreline growth of aquatic plants.
Yeah, just in the beginning, first couple, 2-3 feet.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would guess you want that though.
I want that. I want that.
And did it grow naturally, or did you plant? Yeah.
Naturally.
Right, and how would you rate the water in terms of quality for swimming and cold plunge?
Oh, 5-star. It's really good.
Yeah.
The water is clean, and the water actually better than we did. Dug the water.
A depth clarity testing.
No. Can you pause for a second?
Yeah.
So I hired the company. They did a water well for me, and actually, pond water is better water than from my well right next to it. Yep.
And you never did anything except dig a hole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you get any advice on where to dig the hole? How deep to dig the hole?
For what?
For your pond? Was there?
No, it was just a spot. We picked a flatter spot because, like I said, it's a hill country. So on the hills, it's really hard to dug the pond. So that's, I planned where I want my cabin to be, or my pond, and we just picked this. It was actually, it was a wet spot.
Yeah.
It was a wet spot.
Right.
Even in the summertime, so I knew there's some spring water coming out.
Beautiful.
That's where when we were digging, the summer was extremely dry, so that was really good. It helped us a lot. It was
to get deeper.
To get deeper, yeah. It was not filling up with water.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
How long did it take to dig your 1/3 acre pond?
It was 2 weeks. We rented the biggest machine as possible.
Yeah.
I had 2 guys, one on a dozer, one on an excavator, digging 2 weeks straight.
Good
like
for
every single day.
It's all day long.
All day long.
And what'd you do with the fill?
The fill, we built a dam because it's a hill country.
Okay.
That fill, it was building a dam on the other side of the pond. Yeah,
brilliant.
So there was no waste. I needed more. I needed more.
So this is significant because what you were able to do is, with the earth to create a hole, it created a dam on the other side. So you got the double benefit of the earth.
Yeah.
That's clever. And you did nothing in terms of gravel or any of that?
No, because we have clay if you dig deeper. So one of the guys who was working on the dozer, he knew that he would scrub the clay to the side, dig, and then put the clay over on that dam side, so the water does not go inside, so it holds the water.
Yeah, the clay is a natural barrier.
Natural barrier. Yeah.
Beautiful job. Great to hear. And clear, clean, cold.
Yeah, cold.
Sauna water. Cool down.
We use it winter time when it's frozen. I'll just get a chainsaw or we'll get the axe. We'll just cut the ice, and after a sauna, we'll go right under the ice.
That's wonderful.
With all my kids do. I have videos I want to show you.
I'd love to see. And you go under the ice and just hang out, right?
Hang out.
Yeah.
All the kids are jumping. They're coming out of a sauna, running in the snow, and jumping into ice cold water. Boom.
Yeah, it's a great. I mean, you do it once. And you got it.
Yeah.
You'll go back time and time again. How far from the moment you exit the hot room? How many steps or how far is it to?
Actually, it's kind of. I would say it's about 30 yards. So I have to come out and kind of around.
Get there.
I should have. If I would build it now, I would probably build my sauna right as close to the pond as possible with the porch, so you can come out and jump out of a porch inside. Yeah.
That's it.
That's how I would have changed that now.
Well, yes, and I'm always trying to make guests of Sauna Talk feel good, right? So what I'm going to tell you, and it's a great transition to the mobile sauna. You could bring that right up to shoreline, right? And have you done it? Have you brought?
Oh yeah.
Sure. So that's the answer right there. I mean, but there is something magical to your point about exiting the hot room, having a couple of steps, and in you go.
In you go.
Yeah, well done. So this is great. So we heard about the pond. Now let's talk about venik. I'd like to transition our little chat to this process. This treatment has grabbed you, and you're good at it. Can you share a little bit about how, well, the venik you've probably first got exposed to by your trips up to Toronto or
trips to Philadelphia. First time I used the sauna, and I got the venik experience.
Yeah. Then what happened after that? You obviously, knowing you did quite a bit of research about the venik experience.
Yeah. So basically, in Russia, you don't go to the sauna to banya without venik. This is a must too, and I never go right now. Sometimes if I'm not in the mood, if I'm in the mood just to warm up a little bit, then I'll go without venik. And now it's must-have tool inside the banya. So venik is basically what it is a bunch of twigs. You collect it in the summertime off of oak tree. Oak tree, birch tree is our most popular because oak tree hold leaf better than let's say maple. I do have veniks, make veniks from maple. They're really good, but it's only for one-time use, and then the leaves fall out. So so a bunch of twigs, you collect it in summertime, you put them together, you dry it, and I put in a cardboard box and store it in the basement. So there is different techniques how to do it, and there is a lot more species too, besides oak and birch. And a venik has natural oils. So like oak venik has different oils. You get the aroma, you get the oils, and plus the main purpose of the venik in the banya is you can control the heat, the amount of pressure and heat I can apply to your body, to your joint, to your muscle. I can warm you up with a whisk, apply hot, make him hot, and apply heat, hot compress to any part of your body. I can really warm it up, or you say you cannot even hold, or I can do it softly. The second thing is aroma. By when you put the venik, steam on the venik, it smells the aroma inside the sauna from a fresh birch or a fresh oak or eucalyptus. Is incredible, and it's a natural oil. It's not like preservative or anything. This is you collect straight from the woods into a sauna, and you keep it green. Basically, it's dry, but once you put water on it, hot, and even in the winter time, you have green leaves, and you can use you can have green leaves inside the sauna. So,
there's so many points I'd love to jump in on there's one I just want to focus on is it's free. A venik is free. It's free. And that's what is so beautiful about sauna in a larger context. Water, your cold element, is free. You build your sauna once and you harvest wood and your heat is free. It's such, for a DIY enthusiast, and many of the listeners to Sauna Times have built their own sauna or into the doing it yourself, and I love the venik experience, and the producing of the veniks is fun. I mean, you're cutting branches and you're binding them together and you store them. Nothing major.
Nothing major, but there is, it took me a while to learn the proper way to do it. You can't just use. So you have to use like smaller trees has smaller branches, new growth. Or another thing is, if somebody cut any tree down, and you can actually the leaves on top, it's a new growth.
Oh, that's right.
Tree tops are good too.
You remind me of deer. This is crazy, but up at our cabin, when I'll cut a tree down. I usually don't, get to the branches right away. I'll with the saw's going, I'll cut all the branches, then I'll cut all my lengths for firewood. But I'll usually leave the branches for a while because I'm moving the firewood around. Well, next morning, sure enough, there's a deer out there. They instinctively know that new growth that's up top is probably the most fertile or the best, and it also makes great venik.
Yeah, it also makes great venik.
Yeah. Right. So when you're harvesting trees, that's what you'll do.
Yeah, if I usually I'll just, I own land, I have a couple of friends, and they just let me in, and I just go, cut the twigs. It's in the summertime you can have a lot of mosquitoes there. You're sweating, it's 90 degrees outside, so it can be no fun, but it's work. Yeah,
it's worth it. So June's about the best month, you think?
No, for oak. I try, so depending on the area you live, so in Buffalo area, June for the oak too early, beginning of July, and you can go right through September.
Okay.
Yeah, before leaves come yellow. So let's say end of summer or September, they're gonna be heavy, thicker leaves. So on early July, it'll be lighter, but they're already in full condition. Let's say June is too early, they too soft. I've done them in May, June. I tried them all. and June too early, they too soft. So
Okay.
they
No,
really
no impact.
Yeah, no, not impact. They just wearing out quickly because the leaf is so thin and gentle and soft.
Yeah.
So they need to mature a little more.
Lovely.
So I would say starting early July through September.
How many different species of veniks do you have in your basement right now?
So I have birch, white oak, red oak. I made some from cherry tree.
Wow.
Cherry is more cherry. It will. Cherry is not for massage. It's for there is venik for massage for applying the heat, and other venik is just for aroma. You're using it instead of oil.
When you say just for aroma, you still have it as a whisk?
As a whisk.
But you're using it to move air, is that right?
Actually, no, I just bring inside the sauna, and when you add water and rocks, steam comes up, steam goes in the venik, and the venik, you bring back to life the leaf.
Yeah.
And leaf and all it, and it just opens up, and it gives out the aroma.
So in just a couple minutes, what different veniks will we have tonight?
Tonight I brought white oak, red oak, birch, and I have eucalyptus. So you're gonna try them all today.
Wow,
all fresh.
This is a treat. This is
a
quite
treat.
Yeah, man. This is the full-on Alex venik treatment.
Full on, made by me, made by Alex. So some people, when you start, you sometimes you don't know how to make venik. It will be a little frustrated, but once you get it, once you learn, it's good.
Well said. Beautiful. The process itself. do you have a? Can you give us listeners a little bit of a flavor of our process tonight? Does it free flow, or do you have a sequence? Tell us a little bit about it.
So before I use venik, so the way to take the sauna session, like first time you go, we start at low temperature. So we'd start probably about 130, maybe 130, 140 degrees. So you start warming up slow. So you see, because it's not high temperature, your body getting used to it. So you're getting yourself warm, you come out, we'll drink hot tea with honey. I brought honey too. My father is a beekeeper. So we have nice organic honey or raw honey with me. So the hot tea and the honey, when you come out, will warm you up from inside too, and you will start even sweat more. So you
outside or in the hot room?
No, overall. So in the hot room, you basically you warming up yourself from the outside, and hot tea and honey will start warming you up from inside. So before taking a cold plunge, never take a cold plunge after first session of the sauna. You have to use the sauna a couple of times, really get hot, your body gets to the hot level, then you take the cold plunge. Then you will not get sick, and then that's the proper way. Don't use the cold plunge after first session. So you have to make 2-3 sessions, and when you do the second time you will go in, we're gonna warm up again. Maybe I do light, sauna whisk, just warm you up. And the third time, we're actually gonna perform the venik. Then your body is ready to take more heat. You don't want to apply too much heat first time you go into a sauna. Very, very important.
Many people. This is again, Alex. I'm telling you, talking with you, I want to talk I don't want to interrupt you, number one, but when you're done, I got like 5 things I want to talk about. But I'll distill it to one. My good buddy Tom, he loves riding up the first round. I never got into that. When I go into round 1, I like 180 Fahrenheit, and I like to hit it. Hit round 1, and it takes me round 1 is usually my longest, but it's a good 15-20 minute, maybe longer round. And that's just how I roll. My buddy Tom, he likes to go into round 1 when the sauna is riding up the temp, maybe 130, 120, something, and then as the sauna heater is heating the room, by the time round one is over, maybe 160 for round one. So it's interesting how people have different feelings about the heat and riding the temperature. But I think what's common about what you're explaining, and my buddy Tom certainly, is this riding the temperature up. But you say it's very important.
Yeah, but the people are different. So some people like more heat and they want to take more heat.
Yeah.
Some other people don't. But the proper way, let's say if you cold and if you go into a sauna that's 200 degrees, your body, it's a big change. You're not ready. Your brain is reading that, change, and your body actually start fighting with that temperature. And even you can have, if you walk in and you have, sometimes you can have a goosebumps when you cold. That's not good. That's your body fighting with that high heat, and you have different reaction in your body. So you have to prepare your body for the higher heat.
And your mind.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So we will have, is there a sequence of hot and then cool down like a number of times, or do you kind of like to read the situation?
Yeah, you read the situation. It depends on your mood. Sometimes, you're full of power. You're not tired, man. You can take.
Yeah.
You can do a sauna, many times. Sometimes it depends how you feel and like on a person.
So what will be after round 3 or 4? What will be the temperature in the hot room?
Actually, in the banya, the stove right now that we have is covered with rocks, so it's designed not to overheat the room. So we're gonna do the whole stuff. The most temperature we're gonna get probably 160, but you have to with the 160 we're gonna bring the moisture level up, the humidity level. It's gonna be 30, 40. And that way I can control. You have to have a proper stove to create a lot of steam. So in order to use the sauna whisk, you have to have lower temperature, higher humidity, so I can work with the steam. When you work with the steam, that's sauna whisk. If you're gonna bring a temperature 200, you won't be able to bring them. With the temperature 200, your humidity level is 0.
Right.
Is 0.
Yeah.
And when you add a cup of water, you're gonna bring up to 2%, and after 2 minutes, it's gonna be back to 0. And you have to, in order to use the sauna whisk, you have to have steam to work with.
Let's talk a little bit about steam, or lolu as the Finns call it, and dry steam, wet steam. Share with us a little bit about that specifically.
So there's different types of steam. So boiling water, that's your wet steam, visible steam. So basically when you have heater, rocks on top of the heater, you pour water, you see that steam, that's your wet, hard steam, heavy steam. But if you have rocks, so I have a special heater. There is rocks on the inside of the heater. And the rocks are getting hot, like getting temperature 350, 450 degrees Celsius, not the Fahrenheit. I have to convert that. And when you pour water on them hot rocks, the steam is invisible. The steam is a drier steam.
Right.
And actually,
yep.
And actually, you can from let's say 1 cup of water, you can create a lot more dry steam than a wet steam, and it's lighter and it's softer to the feel. It doesn't burn you as hot as a heavy steam. So like if you go to a steam room, where you can't see nothing, it's just heavy steam. You can't see, and steam room has a temperature it's like
120,
120, even 100.
Yeah.
Right. And you can't even see. With the dry steam, it's invisible. You put, and when you have that invisible steam, we have proper stove to create that steam. You can get as much steam as you want. That's the whole. If you, let's say, inside the sauna is 150, or you want more temperature, you just add a cup of water. You want more, add the second, third, and like you can add 5 cups of water, and you're gonna crawl out of a sauna, on your knees because it's too hot, and the temperature will still be 150.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a different animal, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's actually a Russian Banya.
Yeah.
So that's Russian Banya.
Yeah, and that's the differentiator. A Russian Banya is more steam, less heat.
Yeah. More steam, less heat. But like I said, every person different. Some people like it hotter, more. On Russian it's called stalivar. Stalivar, it means like you're really hardcore enthusiast.
Right on, man. Well said. The Russians I know love it hot. I mean, 200 is not hot enough. There's a faction of Russians specifically that like it really hot, like 220, 230. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know. I used to be that way when I start using the sauna, and once I start learning, talking to professional people, I took courses online, videos and learning, and I changed my mind. Once I tried low temperature with a high steam, and now that's what I love. Now I don't like that heat.
Yeah.
But I used to. So there is, if you go into a high heat, you go there, sit for 5-10 minutes, and you come out of a sauna, you're like, yeah, it's nice. It's nice that you came out actually, and you enjoy that you survived there for 10 minutes at 220. So I like the sauna when you come inside the sauna and use it for 20-30 minutes, and actually you enjoy being in the sauna.
Every minute
of it.
Right on. Beautifully said. Yeah, it's like a super hot sauna is like banging your head against the wall. It feels great when it's over.
Yep. And sometimes when you have bodies with you kind of competing, you don't want to come out because you think you're a man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You just want to take a longer session.
That's it. I hear you. You outdo each other. There's a great one when you're sauning with a bunch of other people. Is the last guy to make lolu or throw water on the rocks has to be the last one to leave the hot room. and actually I like that rule because if you think about it, say there's 3-4 guys sitting in the sauna and you're not doing the venik thing, you're just free flowing. Yeah. And then you're building this great momentum of a good round, and the steam is perfect, the humidity level is perfect, and everything is right, and you're riding out, you're taking in this heat, and then a new guy comes in and he bullies his way onto the bench. He's cold. And he wants change right away. He doesn't want to acclimate to the vibe you've created. And so he's like, and he tosses water. And now you're kind of shortening your round because there's more water in there. You were in a perfect spot. Now he's like throwing water and stuff. Well, that guy, he deserves to be the last one out.
Yeah, or same guy, if you go in with this, same guys, let's say 5 people go in and one guy, it's not hot enough. So he goes, he throws a couple of cups, and he comes out first.
That's it.
He comes out first.
That's a yellow card.
Yeah, and he comes out first. I'm like, hello.
Yeah, that's totally what I'm talking about. But this is the beautiful thing about sauna, and what you said, you came over tonight, you brought the mobile sauna, and you said, I have plenty of time. And you nailed it. I know you are a sauna pro because it's important, to do this with time, not a factor.
Not a factor. So you can't rush it. The whole preparation thing, you have to love every moment of it.
Yeah, beautifully said. Thank you, Alex. Yeah. So we're in the hot room. Go ahead, Alex.
So we're in the hot room, first session, and the proper way to use the sauna is to lay down. So the reason why, you have to keep the temperature on the bottom of the sauna is a lot colder than on top. And when you sit, your head is all the way up in the heat, and your body on the bottom. So the number one rule, you have to warm up your feet first to get your blood circulation going. And when you're laying down, you're in the same level of heat.
Okay.
And you heating up slowly, or you can even raise your feet up, put it on the wall, and warm up.
We're dealing with some constraints here. We're in the hot room with my mother.
Yeah.
Is it okay to talk about how old you are?
Oh, sure.
How
I'm 88.
Okay.
88.
And my mother had a fall, and her back is super sore.
Yeah.
So
right back here.
the pressure is on. So
Right
getting
here.
my mother to lay down, we're going to do this in your best way, Mom. Okay? So we just finished, that was 40 minutes maybe?
Yeah, it was. But at least 40 minutes.
At least. Probably an hour, I would guess. I don't know. But you don't keep score on time, I sense, do you?
Time flies inside the sauna. You just, And we did it that long because we had proper ventilation. We had windows, and we could do it hotter. Then we open the windows, cool the place down, and you can be in a sauna laying down just by opening and closing windows. Because she had bad back, hurt her back. It was really hard for her to get up. So we keep her in the sauna for 40 minutes.
And it worked great. And, if you're doing this treatment here with someone who's 88, 90 years old, that's one thing. But someone who's 88, 90... Mom, how old are you? Did we get there? 88?
88, I think. Yeah, she's 88.
Yeah. With a really bad back, it is a different story. I mean, it's a double whammy. So you're sitting up slowly, and that was a great idea to have her turn over and do it all as one session.
Yeah. Instead of coming out. And,
That was enough for getting up one time. Yeah. When you sauna, Alex, do you always have the venik, right?
Always.
Yeah.
Unless I had no chance to get it. We ran out.
Sure. Right.
And we have no venik. So we go without it.
And do you sauna, you are, how do you say it, a venik master or a venik teacher? Or
actually, the way it says is Parmaster, Steam Master.
Steam Master.
Steam
exactly.
Master. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So you work with the steam. It's called a Steam Master.
Yeah. Do you obviously enjoy it, but do you also, it's work for you, is it not? Or do you get a good sauna session in as a Steam Master?
Actually, you put in a lot of pressure on a Steam Master. It's very, hard job, and you losing, you're sweating, and you losing a lot of salt too, and a lot of bad and good stuff out of your body coming out. And basically, whoever works full time as a power master, they have to drink vitamins to,
counteract the loss of
because they're losing
minerals.
Minerals. Yeah,
and you're drinking a lot of water as well through the process. Yeah, so you get as much of a sweat as the person you're giving
treatment.
Actually,
I get 3 times more pressure on me because I'm standing up and my head is up in the ceiling.
Yeah,
is one thing, and plus I'm working. I'm not just laying down. I'm working, and that's a lot of pressure.
That's true.
3 or 4 times more.
Yeah.
So usually the proper way to do it, like when we come with the friends, so we have 2-3 people working on one guy. So you come in, work 5 minutes, come out. Second guy comes in fresh, 5 minutes, and we take turns because for one guy to do a full session, it's hard.
So if you ask Kirill Kaprizov or any Russian hockey players, they could relate because they're taking shifts.
Yep, they're taking shifts. Correct.
Yeah, and that's what keeps the puck moving.
Yep, but same here in the professional sauna. If you go to like professional session, you usually have a couple of people working on you, rotating
in and out of the
in and out.
And the guy is like sitting on the bench outside cooling off.
Yep.
Wow, that's fascinating. How about your sauna practice, particularly You mentioned that you always have the venik in the hot room with you. Do you sauna alone quite a bit, and do the whisking on yourself? How does that work for you as a steam master? How do you sauna and like to sauna?
So I usually come with friends, so we take turns. My friends do a job on me, I do it for them, but sometimes I do it alone, and there is techniques how to get your back, you can do it alone with sauna whisk and do it to yourself.
But typically it sounds like a few buddies and you're rotating.
Sauna is more, we like company, and I like to sauna with my wife too. You can have boys' night out, girls' night out, birthday party. You can be there with your second half and have a great time.
Yeah.
You can do whisk massage, then you do a scrub, salt, honey, and then you do massage to each other, and it's
beautiful.
Yeah,
well said. Thank you. So Alex, we'll talk mobile sauna real quick. You brought this mobile sauna. It's a special sauna. It's all the wood is from Russia. We talked a little bit about that. The white cedar, very specific to Russia. It's a good size. You mentioned
7 by 9.
Mm-hmm.
7 by 9 by 7.
Mm-hmm. And the bench configuration, is this something specific? This L bench design, and then that where you have the buckets, is that specific, or did you fabricate some of that, or how is that laid out?
So the Russian Banya, we prefer basically to have one level and wide bench, because the proper way to lay down, and so we have wider benches, and the height of the bench depending on your height. Whoever the steam master, if it's he's taller, he can do bench higher, but usually it's like 28-30 inches high bench, so it's between the second and the first level, right in between somewhere, and there is no bottom. So when one person lays down, and the steam master can come closer to the person right in front of him to perform like a massage table.
Yeah.
The person has to be right next to it. Mm-hmm. So if you have in two levels, and let's say one person's laying on the second level and you staying on the floor, and the first level is on my way. So my knees, I'm that first level on my way. I have to reach over, and my arms are
not long enough.
Couple of minutes and you're done.
Yep. Have you seen in the commercial banyas where they'll have multiple tier benches, and then you can push up the bench?
Yeah, sliding bench.
Yeah.
You can create a sliding bottom. That's what they do actually a lot. You can first bench. You can do a sliding one. When you do a whisk massage, you slide that in, and you can stay right against the person.
The Finns are nuts about the law of Lolu, and what the law of Lolu says is that when you're sitting on the upper bench, your feet are at the height of the sauna rocks. This is a whole different game, isn't it?
Yeah. We prefer to, sauna is, lay down and be totally relaxed. You have to, when you're sitting down, you can relax, but not all the way. So if you lay down, you as much as comfortable, and you warm up your body equally.
Right.
You can even raise your feet up and lean it against the wall, against the sauna wall.
Right, and that's where the sauna hats. I mean, they're particular, I believe, to the Russian sauna culture, where the sauna hats came from, and that is also to help that equalization, and that your head gets hot first, right?
Yeah, your head gets hot, and that's where you wear the hat. You cover your head to keep your head cool, because your body can take a lot more temperature than your head.
Right on, man. Alex, this is so awesome. I'm looking forward to a sauna. How do you say it? A venik session, or a venik treatment, or
venik treatment? You can say there's proper word paritsa. Par is a steam. So basically, we're gonna go steam up,
we're gonna steam up.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I love that line. I could see a T-shirt with your iconic mobile sauna and steam up.
Yeah,
That's a great line. We love it. Let's go steam up. Before we do, a couple questions. You feeling all right? You good?
Oh, I feel good.
Yeah, man. All right. So your mobile sauna is sitting in my mother's driveway. This house, as I mentioned to you, has been in our family for 3 generations, and it's in Kenmore, New York, just outside of Buffalo. It's first tier little suburb where we could walk to the city line and stuff. And Alex pulled in with his mobile sauna, and we're here. And we really transform ourselves in our own property to another place, another world, as you say. So I want to first thank you for coming, and I have a few rapid-fire questions. You brought the mobile sauna here. You are obviously well familiar with mobile saunas, and as you think about it, where would you like to bring a mobile sauna anywhere in the world, if you could, and enjoy this wonderful experience?
I would probably go to Alaska. Alaska I've never been there. I want to go there. It's cold, and I would do a cold plunge there near a lake somewhere.
Amen, brother. That with a great view, right?
With a great view. There you go.
And you could work this sauna right to the lake shore or on the ice.
On the ice, right on the ice. We go ice fishing.
Yeah.
We did it. You go ice fishing and take your sauna right on the ice.
Amen, brother.
And fish right. You can fish right out the sauna. And go in and out.
Yeah, that's living. That's living. Who would you, as you think about it, anybody dead or alive, past, present, who's the first person that comes to mind that you would like to sit on the sauna bench with?
I think Donald Trump.
Yeah?
Yep. And I would like to introduce him to a Russian Banya, so he gets a real feel of it.
Do you think he'd be into it?
Of course.
That's funny. That's funny. Why did he come to mind out of everybody in the world?
I have this. I don't know. It just
this image
up.
With his big orange head. That's great. That's great. Now this is a real tricky question for you. Well, I'm going to ask 2 more. Are you okay? Anything?
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to ask, or anything that you would like your listeners to know, or any thoughts, comments? I got 2 other quick questions for you. Anything come to mind? So anything you'd like others to know about how to contact you, or what you're up to? You're starting this. Well, you have started this great commercial business, and we are like-minded, Alex. You and I, we want to bring sauna to the people, and good sauna, right?
Good sauna, that's correct. I want everybody to try it, not only see it. You have to try it, and then once you try it, then you can really tell, what is it all about.
Yeah, man. Well said. And it's a commitment. It's a lot of time. I mean, we're spending 4 or 5 hours here tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, and you are not rushed.
Yeah.
You obviously enjoy it.
Yes, and we can spend another 4 hours in here and still enjoy it.
Right on, brother. When you think about sauna, you've obviously done a lot of. You mentioned earlier you've done a lot of research. You immerse yourself in this. You think about sauna 24/7, which sounds familiar to someone else I know. You're looking at them. I don't know what it is, but really possessed about it, but in a positive way. I mean, you've done a lot of research about sauna. What do you think is most misunderstood? That if you were, had a billboard or an audience and could help educate people, what do, in your perception, people perceive sauna to be that is not right, that you feel is misunderstood, that you'd like others to know?
I think it's infrared sauna. That's what I think. It's totally different. And I get a lot of phone calls. And they say, infrared is better, and I say why, and then because somebody said so,
Yeah.
And I was telling you try infrared and you try traditional, real steam, and then you will compare, and then you can tell, the real sauna. What is the real sauna, real banya is all about? Yeah, man.
well said. It's it's easy to throw that under the bus. I'm shocked at how popular that is. I'd like to consider infrared a gateway drug to the real sauna, the steam, the heat, the ventilation. Do you think infrared should be called something different? It's not. You said it's something totally different. It isn't just because it's got wood on the walls. It's not a sauna, right?
Yeah. Maybe you should call it a microwave. Maybe it's a better word for it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Well, we can go on and on about that. I just want to stay to the positive in the sense that if you've experienced a good sauna with great heat, steam, and ventilation against an infrared, I think the race is. There's no contest.
No contest.
Yeah, man. Last question for you, Alex. It's a sauna day. You wake up, it's a sauna day. As you go through your work day, leave work, go to the sauna, fire up the sauna stove, get ready. It's a procedure for you with your veniks. The process of getting ready for sauna, then entering the hot room and engaging in that process through the multiple rounds, the cool downs, the whole experience. If you had to, even after, if you had to distill it all, is there a moment, or what moment kind of rings out for you in your mind as you think about the full spectrum of a sauna day? Is there a moment that you cherish the most?
Yes, there is a moment. Actually, it's every moment I cherish. The day before, let's say, if I know it's, today is Thursday, tomorrow Friday, and I know my friends are going, I'm getting my whisks ready, actually, putting new rope on, and especially if you made that whisk yourself, it's a lot more important too. So, like starting the fire, driving, preparing the food, every moment of it is enjoyable. But right now, because I do it commercially, and I introduce people to a banya, the real Russian banya. Right now, for me, it's after a banya session, after a venik session, whoever never tried it before or never tried it a proper way, and to see their face reaction afterwards and see what they say. That's what I'm doing it for.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yep.
So your answer isn't about you. It's about who you are doing the venik treatment for.
Yep.
Well, that's a great way to send out. How can people reach you? What's your best contact information?
They can go online, bsaunasusa.com. Call me. There's phone number there, email, Instagram, bsaunasusa, Facebook. You can find me anywhere.
Yeah, man. In this day and age, great. Take us out, Alex. Final words to the listeners of Sauna Talk. Thank you for a great experience in getting to know you. Our friendship and kinship is just beginning, brother. I'm feeling great with you, and we are so like-minded. So thank you. But I would love you to finish. Any final word to listeners, guests? Take us out, Alex.
Yeah, don't afraid to try it. To try a sauna, try it with a proper person. The real Russian Banya, and you're gonna be more happy in your life having a sauna in your backyard.